For those of you who don't know me, my name is Morgan, and my YouTube video is going to be a response and commentary to Dear White People. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'll do my best not to ruin it for you, but I really enjoyed it and I recommend you watch it. So it starts off with Sam White is a biracial female student who is associated with the Black Student Union, and she runs for head of household and hopes to repeal the House Randomization Act. And the movie just follows her interactions with the BSU, Dean Fairbanks and his son Troy, which is her ex-boyfriend, and the prestigious, I don't really know what to call it, white social club known as Prestige. And the movie ends with Prestige throws a black-themed party, and how the student union, the Black Student Union, the student population, faculty, and admin, and the media respond to it. So the movie covered a lot of topics that we talked about in class, such as opportunity, black names, black hair, how black people were portrayed in Hollywood. But the two that I'm going to focus on today are those of intersectionality and compensating for blackness. And compensating was a term used by Dean Fairbanks in a discussion with Sam White. So I have a definition of intersectionality for you guys here, and it's the idea of overlapping social identities and related systems of domination, oppression, and discrimination. This is really exemplified with the character Lionel. Lionel himself doesn't believe in labels, but he engages in homosexual activity, and throughout the movie he just experiences all kinds of discrimination for engaging in such acts and also being black. He bounces around all different kinds of dorms on campus, and throughout the movie he talks about how he's never really had friends and felt like a sense of belonging to people. He's resented in the white community for being black, and he's resented in the community for being gay, or so he thinks. There's actually a point in the movie where he's approaching the Black Students Union and they say, "Hey, why don't you ever come to our meetings? You know, we're not all homophobic." I really liked that because it just showed that there's stereotypes everywhere, even within the black community, about the black community. And in the end it was great because Lionel used his intersectionality to kind of win both battles. He joined with the Black Student Union, and they went to the black themed party, and he fought for his blackness with them, and he gets in a fight with the president's son, who was a former roommate of him, who was really just kind of an asshole, to be quite frank. And he kissed him, and it was just awesome because he was using his homosexuality to win that battle. So then my second point is compensating for blackness, which, like I said, was a term used by Dean Fairbanks with Sam White. Sam is heavily involved with the BSU. She runs her own radio show called Dear White People, and just comments on a bunch of social problems about that, and has her own magazine, or runs a magazine called Ebony and Ivy, which is complimentary to Dear White People. And she causes a lot of fuss around campus. Dean Fairbanks, on the other hand, the term that came to mind when I watched this is one that I learned from Professor Finnear, and is honorary whiteness. He has just totally accepted the role of whiteness and what he does, what he does for a career, how he dresses, how he speaks, what he influences his son to do. And with Sam as a biracial female and as the spokesperson for this group, she kind of does she appears to do a lot of overcompensating, and that's identified by both Dean Fairbanks and by her white boyfriend. You know, she spends hours to make her hair look more authentic, I guess is a good word. is not honest about her likes for Taylor Swift and this one white director, and says these other things. And for Dean Fairbanks, his criticism about her overcompensating is how she is just so outspoken and causes such a fuss on campus, and the attention that the school is getting because of it. And then Dean Fairbanks, like I said, he also influences his son to act that way. There's a scene where they fight about his use of marijuana in fighting jokes, and he says something to the effect of, you can't live up to what you want them to be, you have to fight every stereotype. So he's overcompensating for his blackness by identifying everything that is black and avoiding that. And Sam calls that in her magazine Ebony and Ivy. She calls those people nose job, because they someone who hides their blackness for whiteness. So how this all relates to our class is going back to the 3 sociological perspectives. You can find every single one of them in the film, but the one that stood out to me most was conflict theory, which is, I have some more notes, is the role of coercion and power in producing social order. Stratification is dysfunctional and harmful in society, with inequality perpetuated because it benefits the rich and powerful at the expense of the poor. This is really the foundation for the whole premise of the film, which is when Sam goes to, or which can be seen in when Sam goes to vote, or she runs for head of household to repeal the House Randomization Act, because she feels it's important to keep all the black students together, when the white student body wants to repeal it, and also with the black-themed party, how white people think it's just okay to imitate what is African American and what is black, and what is ghetto with the face paint and the attitude, and just so horribly racist. And in both these incidences of the House Randomization Act and the black-themed party, you can see how the general white minority would benefit at the expense of the black population. Alright, that's my video. Goodbye, everyone. Best of luck all finals, and I will see you later.